Welcome to our series on visual journaling. We'll be using the beautiful new Strathmore visual journals, and our goal for this series is that it's both informal and informative. So I'm going to pretend like you're all going to join me in my studio, and let's get started. Welcome back. In this session, we are going to be working with water-soluble media, and we have a perfect substrate to work on with these vellum journals by Strathmore. I have put just about everything on this page, everything and anything, and the pages just love it. I haven't had any problems at all with the pages tearing or pilling up, and I think I can show you how fast and wet we can work on these pages. A few materials: water-soluble colored pencils, water-soluble crayons. You don't have to have every color to start. These are sold individually at art stores. So not having all the materials isn't an excuse not to journal and make art in your visual journal. I like these round stencils or templates. So many natural shapes start with a circle. So this is my warm-up. There's two ways to warm up in a journal. One is to write and try to get all the clutter out of your mind on the page and out of your mind, and then get in the right side of your brain and just start playing. And so this is my warm-up page. I'm experimenting here. I'm giving myself permission to just see what happens. So with this template and a couple of watercolor pens, I might try some different combinations that I might use later on colors. Colors of flowers or other things that I might like to paint. So you can see these colors kind of melding together here, melting together. Another thing about water-soluble pencils, you can come back in, blend, remove color, and add color. So they're never really finished. And you shouldn't have a goal of finishing a page in a day anyway, or in one setting. I think pages evolve, and if you do them layer on layer and revisit them from time to time, you will see them evolve over time in ways that will surprise you. It's like the art is telling you what it wants to do. I use a lot of stencils. Once I found out that even I could cut a stencil. And I say, if you can hold a pencil, you can cut a stencil. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples with a flower stencil, very simple. And the advantage of cutting your own stencil is that you have the negative and you have the positive. So let's find a page here. For this, I'm going to use my watercolor crayons. These are highly pigmented. Don't you love things that make you look like a better artist than you really are? These simple crayons, and you know, they feel comfortable in our hands. We grew up using crayons. And this always reminds me when we're so judgmental with our art or worried about what other people are going to think. I had an art teacher that told me once, we were looking at raw art or outsider art, and this instructor said that in his opinion there were only two authentic types of artists: children and schizophrenics. And his reason was that they don't care what anybody else thinks. So I try to remember that. Now I've got 4 colors on here. I'm coming in with my water brush, which is my brush with water cylinder in it, Great for traveling, great if you're just sitting somewhere where you can't have all your materials available. Okay, so quick. Coming in, blending my colors, having fun. I love the soft edges that water-soluble media gives us. It looks very much like watercolor. Okay, so there is my flower, positive, and next to it, let's overlap here. We're using some design principles with positive and negative. Now this one, I'm doing the outside edges. Same color scheme. Now, hopefully this looks as playful and fun to you as it really is. Okay, so I lift that up and I've got my negative image there. I'm going to come in around the edges and blend. So I've got kind of a California poppy here going. And I like stencils that don't look like stencils, and so this can be very freehand. Okay, so quickly you can see the positive and the negative with the watercolor crayons. Then you can go back in, as I have here, and get your journaling going and see the juxtaposition of how the images and the text work together. They complement each other, they morph into each other. That's what visual journaling is all about. My last quick and easy demo to show you is with sprays. Another way to make a spread very inviting, make it very quickly. You don't need to know exactly what the end result is going to be. I'm putting old pieces of lace on here. The more I use these, the thicker they get. Remember that some things can come off the page. Take your eye around. Looks like this should come down here. Okay, so let's make this spread work together with some sprays, which with a little spray bottle of water and some very, very inexpensive watercolor paint, put a dab of that in there, shake it up, and you have your own spray watercolors. These are wonderful to use with stencils. I also use some purchased ones that are available in the market. So let's start here with a little red on this page, and we'll repeat it over here. Get our eye going around the page. Come in with an opposite on the color wheel, which is green. And let's mix it up with a little blue. You can go in and blend these. So, this is the quickest way to do a page I know of. So we've got lots of pattern, we've got lots of color, lots of movement, and we've still got some block areas to journal in. That's what you want to do. Now, remember we talked about the grid in our first session. Here's an earlier page that I did. This is handy to have around. Let me show you what you can do. I try to put 2 or 3 colors in each square. And whenever you can break down a page into smaller sections, it's more approachable. When you open up these spreads and just see white paper, it can be intimidating. So this is that one's. Sometimes they clog up on you. Get some blue in here. All right. Now we've got a very, very colorful grid that took us about a minute to do. And if this was going to work with some journaling, you could journal in between, you can journal around the edge of the page. We've just done some of the work for you and invited you in.